Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab and today's video, which is going to be my very first foundation review. I have shared a lot of foundations that I've enjoyed with you in the past, just in favorites videos or hauls, but this is the first time that I'm going to be doing a wear test, and the foundation that I'm referring to today is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation with SPF 15. I'm going to be showing you a demo of how I apply it. I'm going to wear it throughout the day, and I'm going to come back at the end of the day and give you my final thoughts. So if you're interested in checking that out, then let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm excited to try out the new Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation with SPF 15. This one says it contains a natural coconut derivative. It is supposed to be luminous, lightweight, and buildable, and a hydrating formula, which is everything that I love in a foundation. As far as the instructions, it just says apply liberally 15 minutes before sun exposure, reapply at least every 2 hours, use a water-resistant sunscreen. The reason it says that is because it does have SPF 15, but I'm just using it for the foundation. And it is a cushion foundation. This is the box that it came in. I selected mine in the shade 109A, which is neutral beige, but then it describes that as light, medium, cool, so we'll see how it works. Pretty much all the boxes look the same as far as the shade, but then when you actually open it up, this is what the compact looks like, and the back is a little bit transparent so you can see the shade, but that doesn't really help when it's in the box. So obviously this is a cushion foundation and this is what the packaging looks like. I actually really like the packaging. When you open it up, it does have a sponge applicator, which I don't really use, and then this lifts up and then your product is inside. Looking at the cushion, it does look like it might be a little bit dark, but we'll try it anyway. The only other cushion foundation I've ever tried is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi, and I do have mine in the shade 5.5. I have enjoyed this product. It does have 0.51 ounces, which is similar to the Wet n Wild, which has 0.52 ounces. I think it's normal for cushion foundations to come with a little bit less product. So I have a dampened beauty blender and a foundation brush. This is the IT Cosmetics for Ulta Airbrush number 101. I actually purchased this brush specifically to go with the L'Oreal foundation, so I wanted to try with this one and see how it goes. To prime my face, I use the YSL Touche Eclat Blur Primer, and I've done my eyebrows. I have a feeling that the brush is gonna work better, so I'm going to go in with that first. So right off the bat, the foundation does have a smell. It's not a strong smell, but it does smell a little bit like sunscreen, which I guess it's not surprising since it does have SPF. It looks like the foundation is a little bit light for me, which is surprising seeing as how it looks in the compact. Again, the cushion might have a color in and of its own, which is making it look darker. I think it actually kind of matches my skin okay, except for the undertone. I think the fact that it says cool makes the undertone be a little bit off, but we'll see. You can see compared to my neck, my face looks very, very washed out. I mean, it looked like that before, but I think it's much more intense with the foundation. It feels hydrating. It feels nice going into the skin. It doesn't feel too sticky. It's blending out nicely. It is definitely light coverage, at least with the first layer applied. I don't think it's emphasizing any texture either. So here we have one layer applied with a brush, and this one is my bare skin. I have to say I like the finish. It definitely does look a little bit luminous, but I definitely could have used a darker shade. I'm going to try to go in with a beauty blender on the other side and see what the effect might be. So this is just the original pink beauty blender. I don't know how it's looking on camera, but I think that I prefer the application with a brush, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more, see how we can build it up, and just finish off this side with a brush. Okay, so my first impressions so far, it is definitely a luminous finish, but it doesn't feel sticky, although I still would like to set it down with a powder because it doesn't feel completely dry, and I guess that comes with the luminosity and the hydrating points. I'm not 100% happy with the shade I selected. I think I definitely need a darker shade, especially because if you compare it to my eyelids where I don't have any product, they're significantly darker. I think that's the case normally, but not this much. I think that on camera it's showing up a little bit more washed out than it does in person. I think overall I do like the way that it's sitting on my skin. I think that it's definitely lightweight coverage, and I definitely prefer the application of a brush as opposed to a sponge. I think that the brush definitely gives more coverage, and being a lightweight foundation, if you want a little bit more coverage, then a brush is definitely going to be the way to go, and it's really convenient to just dip inside the compact and use the product that way. You can build it up. It doesn't seem to pick up the previous layer, and your skin still looks like skin. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can take a better look. So you can see here, you can still see sort of the pores in my skin, if you will, or just the texture of it. So it doesn't look like a heavy layer. I would say it's kind of like BB cream coverage maybe. I do like the hydrating feel. It feels very refreshing or cooling on the face. So usually my foundation will settle into the lines in my forehead and also my smile lines. Again, it doesn't feel sticky, but it isn't 100% set. It's currently 3:15, so I'm going to finish my makeup, wear the foundation for the rest of the day, and then come back and give you my final thoughts. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed the demo. I applied the rest of my face makeup, and I did apply cream bronzer as well as cream contour just to see how the products would lay on top of the foundation, and it all went on just fine. So it blended out very nicely. I set it with just a little bit of powder and applied the rest of my makeup. By the way, if you like this makeup look, I created it as part of my review of the Lime Crime Venus XL palette, so I will definitely include it in part of that review. It's only my first time trying out the palette, and so I don't want to give you any spoilers right now, but a review is coming once I try out more of the shadows, I get my thoughts together, and I'm able to give you a very good review and opinion on that palette. So now I'm gonna go about my day, and I will come back at the end of the evening and let you know how everything worked out. Alright guys, it's now 6:26 p.m. and as is typical for me of most foundations, it has started to settle into my smile lines, which is normal, but one thing that I noticed is that it isn't really creasing on my forehead at all, and it's looking really nice. It's definitely a luminous finish. I do like the way that my skin feels. It just feels really lightweight. It doesn't feel like I have a lot of makeup on. Even though I have a lot of eye makeup on, it really doesn't feel heavy, and so far I'm really liking it. Again, the foundation in my smile lines is just something that's normal. I'm going to zoom you in so you can take a closer look. So there is the foundation up close. I have a tendency to raise my eyebrows a lot like this, and so that's when you can see the creasing. And then I just have big cheeks, so when I smile I do have really big smile lines, and the foundation has a tendency to settle right in there. Usually what I'll do is I'll just buff it out discreetly if I notice that it's starting to settle there, which is all the time. It's almost like a given that I'll just like go like this every so often, but so far it's going okay. I will be back a little bit later to give you some more thoughts and a final check-in. Alright guys, so it is now, I don't know if you can see, but it is 9:36 and I have been wearing the foundation for 6 hours now, and I know that a wear test would be best at 8 hours or a little bit longer, but I have to edit this video tonight and get up and go to work tomorrow, so I think I better stop now. And I think 6 hours is a good time for me to get an idea of how a foundation is going to be. So looking at my foundation right now, again I have the smile line issue, which I told you before, and we already talked about the shade being just a little bit light for me. I'm going to zoom in so you can see better. Alright, so here's what my skin is looking like up close. I think that in the cheek area it looks really nice. I'm starting to see my lines in between my brows, and so you can see the foundation kind of settled a little bit there, and we talked about the smile lines. But yeah, I mean overall I think the foundation held up really nicely. So let me zoom you back out so we can chat. Alright, so the summary of this foundation, it's very affordable. It's only $8.99 and it's available at the drugstore and also at Ulta Beauty and wetnwild.com. It retails for $8.99, which I think is fairly reasonable for a cushion compact foundation. For the same amount, the L'Oreal foundation was almost twice as much, and so I think that this is really reasonably priced. It only comes in 8 shades, and I think that the shade range is just extremely limiting, and if they're trying to figure out how the product is going to do on initial launch, I think that they would get a better result if more people could try it out. This is the 4th shade in the range, which is number 109A, neutral beige, and out of only 8, and this one was a little bit light for me, I would say that it just hovers right around the medium skin tone, and it doesn't go very light and it doesn't go very deep, so I think that there's definitely room for improvement there. Now as far as the packaging, I think that the packaging is super cute. The mirror is actually really nice quality. I didn't use the little puff that comes with it, but the cushion itself seals very nicely with this flap, so I don't think you have have to worry about it drying out. As I mentioned, I did like the application better with a brush than with a beauty blender. I think that it just gave me more coverage. It's supposed to be a lightweight foundation anyway. I just think that it applied a lot better. I was able to get a more even tone when I applied it with a brush than with a beauty blender, so I would definitely recommend using a buffing type foundation brush with it. Now, I am looking at this foundation from the lens of someone with extremely dry skin. I think that if you have oily skin, I probably wouldn't recommend this for you because it's very luminous and lightweight. I have a feeling that the natural oils in your skin would break it down and you wouldn't like the finish. However, if you have dry skin or more mature skin, I think you might actually like this, and I think it would be worthwhile checking it out if you are on the market for a very lightweight foundation. I think that this is a nice option. It does have a physical sunscreen in it as well if you like having sunscreen in your foundation. Overall, I really have to say I really enjoy the foundation. I'm definitely going to return it and get my correct shade because I think I could definitely go a little bit deeper. And also the fact that this one was actually cool tone, I think is what generated sort of the grayish tinge to my skin. But other than that, the finish is really nice and just as lightweight and natural as I like. I never like to feel that my foundation is very, very heavy. That's everything for my first foundation review. I just wanted to offer a perspective from someone with more mature and dry skin because I see a lot of people doing foundation reviews and I don't find a lot of representation for my particular demographic, so I just wanted to throw mine out there. It's the first one that I do, so let me know how I did and if you have any feedback for improvement in the future. I did enjoy doing this video quite a lot, and so if you like it, then I will definitely incorporate more foundation reviews on my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope that you'll consider subscribing and joining my makeup family. If you did enjoy the video, also please give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. It definitely brightens my day. Thank you so much for joining me and continuing to support my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will see you again really, really soon on my next video. Bye-bye.